At LabLab, we just tested the Dreame A2, and in this video, we are going to tell you honestly what we think about it. If you are interested in this product, be aware that we have provided a link with its best price right below the video. This robotic lawnmower is particularly long and heavy, with dimensions of 67 by 44 by 27 centimeters and a weight of 16 kilograms. It is IPX6 certified, which means it is resistant to rain and jets from a garden hose. Underneath its structure, there are two large drive wheels at the back, two small omnidirectional wheels at the front, and the cutting disc with its 3 blades. The battery compartment is also accessible by unscrewing it, and there is a handle to carry the robot, but given its high weight, it is really not easy. On top, there is the stop button, which allows you to stop the robot in an emergency, the control panel, and the LiDAR sensor. The stop button also serves to open the control panel cover. Finally, at the front, there is an AI camera and charging contacts. To secure the device, there is a PIN code to enter on the control panel upon initial setup. This code prevents access to settings and locks the system in case the robot is moved or restarted. As the A2 is a high-end robotic lawnmower, it features a display screen and a dial that allows you to use it almost without a smartphone, directly on the screen. You can start mowing, change the PIN code, or perform numerous settings. This model comes with a charging station and its power cable, which is a good 10 meters long. To fix the charging station to the ground, 8 stakes and a hex key are included. A kit of 81 replacement blades is also provided. A quick start guide explains the steps to follow to set up the robot. Since the A2 functions exclusively thanks to its LiDAR and camera, there is no RTK beacon to install in addition to its station. This makes installation extremely fast. You just need to install the station, plug it into an outlet, and place the robot on it. The station has an IPX4 certification, which allows it to resist light rain, humidity, and water splashes. In terms of maintenance, it is enough to wipe the robot's sensors from time to time to keep them clean. In addition to that, it is recommended to change the blades every 2 months. When you run out of blades, you can buy a kit of 12 pieces for about €20. Finally, be aware that there is a 3-year warranty on this model, which is reassuring regarding its durability. During the first startup of the robot, you must pair it with the Dreame Home application. The Dreame A2 is a bit special because, in addition to Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, it also features a 4G and GPS module. Bluetooth is used for short-distance interactions, such as manual control. Wi-Fi allows for full management of the robot via the app, but the Wi-Fi must reach at least as far as the station. The 4G connectivity, for its part, allows for total remote control, even without Wi-Fi, as well as features like real-time GPS tracking and anti-theft protection. A free trial period is included for 3 years with the purchase of the robot, after which the service becomes paid. Note that it is not possible to see through the robot's camera via the 4G module. This is only possible via Wi-Fi. The 4G module is mainly used for security. For example, if someone tries to steal your Dreame A2, you will be able to track its GPS position on Google Maps. To perform an initial map creation, you must manually steer the robot along your lawn. During this process, the device is connected to your smartphone via Bluetooth, and it records its position in memory using its sensors. When mapping is finished, you can edit the created map by defining no-go zones, paths, and by merging or splitting zones. The robot can then be launched to mow either the entire lawn or a specific zone. If you have created several zones, you can also control it manually via the app, as if it were a remote-controlled car. It is possible to schedule mowing for certain days and times and define whether you want the robot to mow the entire area or only a specific zone. The mowing height is adjustable between 3 and 7 centimeters directly via the app, which is very convenient because usually the adjustment is done manually via a dial on the device. You can also save up to 2 maps, which is practical if you have 2 gardens without a path between them, or if you want to use the robot at a friend's place in addition to your own. While it is operating, you can track the robot live on the app, and you can even see through its camera when it is connected to Wi-Fi. However, during the test, the robot indicated every time that the Wi-Fi signal was not strong enough for us to see through its camera. This is surprising because that has not been the case for the other robotic lawnmowers we have tested. It seems that the Wi-Fi reception is not very strong with the A2, or that its camera stream requires more bandwidth than average. Among the other features, there is the task history, obstacle detection sensitivity, mowing direction, settings related to edge mowing or rain management, alarm activation when the robot is lifted, pin code modification, or even AI recognition of certain obstacles. During our tests, the lifting alarm activated properly when we lifted the robot, and it emitted a reasonably loud noise of 80 decibels. We also received a notification on our smartphone, and we were able to track the robot's position via Google Maps. Finally, the rain detection worked effectively. When we poured water on the Dreame A2, it automatically returned to its station, and a notification was sent to our smartphone indicating that rain protection had been activated. Well, enough theory. Let's move on to the practical part with our performance tests. Please note that we are sorry we could not test this robot on a larger lawn, but it was too complicated for us. In terms of practice, we will try to do better next year. That's a promise. When we started our trials, the mapping of our small 17 square meter area was done quickly and easily. To evaluate the device's cutting performance, we performed two tests. A first cut up to 7 centimeters, which is the robot's maximum height, then a second one up to 5 centimeters. In both cases, the result was correct but not perfect. The robot started by mowing the center of the lawn, then finished with the edges. In the center, the cut was generally uniform, but some tufts remained in certain places. Regarding the edges, with the default settings, the robot goes along them twice and even shifts its cutting disc to the side to cut as close as possible to the limits. However, there were still parts it did not want to mow, especially large tufts of grass. We then performed a specific edge mowing by disabling obstacle detection. For the edges, the robot cut a little better, but there were still tufts in some places. To obtain an optimal cut of the entire area, including edges, you must therefore prepare the lawn by manually cutting the tallest grass tufts, especially on the edges. You can do this either with another mower or with the robot in manual mode. Regarding its speed, during our two tests on a surface of 17 square meters, each cut took 16 minutes. The robot therefore has a speed of 1 square meter per minute, which is in the average of the other models we have tested. We also tested obstacle avoidance by placing objects of different sizes on our lawn. The robot was set to the default sensitivity level, which is 20 centimeters in height. The Dreame 2 detected and avoided almost all the obstacles we placed in its path. Barbecue, human feet, bucket, balls, and shovels were avoided, but the plush whale was unfortunately crushed. We were surprised that it managed to avoid the shovel because it measures less than 20 centimeters in height. We think it is its AI avoidance system that detected it as an obstacle, which is a good point. We then adjusted the obstacle detection sensitivity to the level just below at 15 centimeters. And in this case, it touched the whale slightly and then avoided it. This robot's obstacle detection is therefore quite good, and it could even improve with future updates. Then we checked if the device could indeed climb slopes of 50% incline. In fact, it managed to climb the steep slopes of our terrain, but its elongated shape can cause it to get stuck if the slope is too steep. Unfortunately, this was the case more than once with our steepest slope. In our terrain configuration, we have two mowing zones, a first main one of about 20 square meters, which is very flat and simple, and a second, more complex one, in which we have various vegetable planters. During our test of this robotic lawnmower, we first created the first mowing zone, and when we wanted to add the second zone to the map, only a part of this second zone was manageable by the robot, the one at the back of the vegetable planters. In fact, the paths between our planters are too narrow for the robot to mow there. This is a problem we have already had with all the other models we have tested. On the other hand, we managed to create the second zone at the back of the garden where there is 6 square meters of grass. When we did so, the app automatically indicated that we needed to create a path between the two zones so that the robot could navigate from one to the other. We encountered a problem with the small zone at the back of our garden. When the robot arrived there, it started for a few seconds. Then it stopped on the spot as if it were bugging. And after a few dozen seconds, it indicated it had finished the zone and headed towards its station. We do not know if it is due to the small size of the zone or its particular environment, but we were disappointed knowing that other robotic lawnmowers we have tested made it there. As for the grass between our vegetable planters, we were able to mow it by activating the robot's manual mode. It is not as convenient as if it could go there automatically, but it is better than nothing. Speaking of manual mode, it is unfortunately not very responsive. The robot's great length combined with its high weight means it takes a lot of time to turn in place. To finish with the performance, note that the device is very discreet when it moves. Our sound level meter detected only 50 to 60 decibels at a 1 meter distance, which is almost imperceptible outdoors. Finally, let's end this test by evaluating battery life. The Dreame 2 has a 5,000 mAh battery, which allows it to cover up to 3,000 square meters of terrain according to the brand. If necessary, it can resume its task where it left off when it is charged again, and the full charging time is only 60 minutes, which is fast. During our various tests on a flat and simple 20 square meter lawn, the robot lost between 10 and 15% of battery. We therefore estimate that it can mow up to 200 square meters per charge, or about 1,000 square meters per day. If your lawn is the maximum of 3,000 square meters recommended by the brand, it will take 2 to 3 days for the robot to mow this surface. To summarize everything, the positive points of the Dreame 2 are its quick installation without an RTK beacon, its complete remote control via Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and 4G with GPS geolocation, the fact that you can adjust the mowing height via the app and not manually via a dial, its good detection and avoidance of almost all obstacles, and the fact that it is capable of managing large terrains up to 3,000 square meters. As for the negative points, its very bulky format, which makes it difficult to handle, its imperfect cutting performance, especially on the edges, its weak Wi-Fi reception, limiting the use of the camera remotely, its manual mode, which is not very responsive and difficult to maneuver, the fact that it can get stuck in narrow zones or with steep slopes, and that its battery life only allows mowing 1,000 square meters per day.